Hi, everyone. Today we're going to jump right in and we're going to introduce to you how to use Google Classroom and something that is available for you to use right now with all of your students. So from your Gmail, again, we're going to move all the way up to the application launcher up here in the upper right-hand corner. And we're going to, if you do not see Google Classroom, you're going to hit even more from Google, scroll all the way down to the bottom to where you see Google Classroom, and then add Google Classroom to your application launcher automatically by clicking on it. So Google Classroom is a great resource for teachers to get information, assignments, anything that you want to stay in contact with your students outside of the classroom. Your students can turn in homework. You can give quizzes and tests using Google Classroom, and it's all done online, saves paper, and eventually it will save you time once you sort of understand the basics of Google Classroom. So up here, Google Classroom integrates well with Google Calendar, so you can set due dates and other time-sensitive material using the calendar for your students, and they know when everything is due that you give them. So first thing we're going to look up here is how to create your first class. You'll see a plus button in the upper right-hand corner. We're going to hit that plus button. You can either join a previously created class or you can create a class. And let's create our science class, and we're going to call it period 1. And I'm just going to write science again here. Okay, so once I create the class, it just takes 1 second or so for the class to be generated. Here, there's a great tutorial that shows you how to use Classroom. We're going to skip over that as I talk about some of that stuff here today. You can customize the look of your classroom. You can change the color scheme. You can add pictures. And just a quick look around here. The first thing that you see is your stream. This is where all of your information is going to go that your students have available. Now you can collaborate with other teachers, and other teachers can use this same classroom. So that's a great resource for teachers who work together. We have the Students tab. This is where you're going to invite your students. Now, you can invite students in several different ways. You can set it so students can post and make a comment, or just see that the students can only comment, or only teachers can post and comment. It's depending on what the teacher wants for that particular class. You can invite students with a class code, or you can invite students by sending them an email. And what you would do is you would type in student email addresses, and you would see that their email addresses pop up, and then you would click invite students, and the students will get an email, and in their Gmail account they click accept, and then they have access to the classroom. So email tends to be the easier way to invite students into the classroom, although you do have the option of giving a class code out to maybe someone. Maybe you have a student who for some reason does not have a school email address at this point in time. Maybe there is a exchange student or someone you want to give access to the classroom for a short period of time or something like that, and you can use this class code to do that. You can create an about page with a description of the class, maybe some syllabus information about your class, and you can also connect all of your materials to your Google Drive folder. Again, it integrates well with Google Calendar. And as I mentioned earlier, you can invite other teachers. So going back to this stream, what I want to do is on the bottom right-hand corner, you can reuse old materials. You can create questions for the students, maybe bell ringers. If you want to use a bell ringer, you can create a question. You can create and post assignments very easily, or just announcements. And what's great is all of the Google apps that we have talked about previously work in Google Classroom. For instance, the last video that we talked about was the how to create a quiz in using Google Forms. Well, you can use that either in an assignment or other type of event that you want to create. And you can set it so that these assignments are for all of your students. You can sort of get into the fine details of your assignment later on. You can give your assignment a title. I'm just going to call this Lab 1. And you can give instructions on what they need to do. You can link to videos on YouTube. If you want them to watch a video and answer some questions, you can do that. You can add links to other websites. So I'm just going to make up a website here. I'm going to add the link earthscience.org, and you can add all the material for your assignment. You can add attachments. Any file that you have in your Google Docs, you can click on the little Google Drive icon, and you could use that test form that I created in my last video and add that so that the students know how to find it when it's their time to complete the assignment. What the students will do is when they're done, they'll hit the complete button or the done button on their assignment, and that lets you know that they have turned in their assignment. In some cases, you can grade things automatically, depending on how in-depth you want to get. But this is something that you can start using right away in your classroom, even if you aren't that savvy with the Google apps at this point in time. You can sort of learn as you go, and what will happen is you'll be surprised on how quickly the students pick up this Google Classroom. A lot of the students really enjoy it. I use it in most of my classes already, and for supplemental material, a lot of times students are interested in things, or they want to go home and they want to watch again a video I've shown in class, or if a student has missed a particular lesson, I can put up that information on my Google Classrooms, and we will show them what they've missed, and it saves me time because I don't have to go through that whole class instruction period giving them the same lesson I've already given. Students can work together, students can interact together, all on their own. They can comment on each other's work. It's really great. And once you have a whole series of classes, what's going to happen is you're going to get a list of classes. So if I wanted to, I can add another class here. I'm going to call this biology. I'm going to call this period 2. And I'm just going to create another class here. And what you'll see is you'll end up having a whole list of different classes that you have available. And I'm going to just show you now in the class. Like now I have both my classes, and you can go back and forth between these two classes or however many classes that you have. Now let's take a look. And I mentioned earlier that your students can start using this now. The reason I said that is because if you poll your students, and I do this with every one of my classes, most students today have a smartphone, they have a tablet of some kind, and most devices out there have access to an app store where you can download Google Classroom. So I'm on an iPad right here, but students using Android, they can also download the Google Classroom app. And if you notice in the upper left, I've got the Classroom app. I'm just going to tap on that. And what it's going to do, it's going to open the Classroom app. And I haven't used it under this account yet. So it's going to ask me, what's my role? Is it a teacher or a student? And I'm going to click teacher. And then down in the bottom right, I'm going to hit the next button. And you could see that after just a few seconds here, I had to refresh the page and my classes showed up on this iPad app. And students have access to this wherever they are, whether they're using iPad or Android or Windows tablet devices or laptops or any school computer. They have access to Google Classroom, and they can do their work anywhere at home as long as they have an internet connection. They can ask questions, and sometimes other students will answer those questions. They will also be able to contact you and ask questions at home, and this is sort of a new modern way of being able to help your students in any way that you feel necessary. You can have it so that you get notifications when the student contacts you via Google Classroom, or you can turn those notifications off so your phone isn't buzzing all the time with student questions. That's all depending on how much you want to interact with your students when they're trying to do their work at home. So you can quickly and easily increase student productivity in your classroom and give them supplemental material using Google Classroom, something that I encourage all teachers to start using right now. We have the resources available to do it for most students who have a Gmail account, and definitely worth something. And you'll be surprised on how quickly you pick it up and how quickly the students pick it up, and adds a new level of excitement for your students in the classroom. That's going to do it for this video on Google Classroom. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.